All right, let's talk about something so many of us need help with, finding a really good dog trainer, specifically for those of us living with our pups right here in Syracuse.
You know the scene, right? You're trying to walk your dog down a crowded sidewalk on Marshall Street, or maybe you get caught in the chaos of game day crowds near the Dome. Yeah, city life with a dog is a whole different ballgame. It takes some specific skills for both you and your dog.
So here's our plan. We're going to walk through what it's really like to have a city dog here. Then we'll look at different training styles, figure out how to pick a true professional, and finally, we'll get into the Syracuse-specific logistics and costs.
Okay, let's start with Section 1, living with a city dog, and what that really means in Syracuse.
You know, training is so much more than just sit and stay. It's really about getting our dogs ready for real life here. We're talking about navigating those busy sidewalks in Armory Square or keeping their cool when living on a tight block in Tip Hill. It's even about the small stuff, like learning good elevator manners or not freaking out every time a delivery driver comes to the door.
So, how do you teach all that? Well, that brings us right to our next section, finding a training style that actually works for you.
Pretty much any modern, certified trainer you talk to is going to recommend something called positive reinforcement. And it's actually really simple. It just means using rewards, like a good treat or some happy praise, to encourage the behaviors you want to see more of. It builds a ton of trust and helps your dog feel confident, which is just what they need to handle a busy city.
Now, you'll probably run into two main types of training setups. In-home training is fantastic because you're tackling problems right where they happen. Like, say, your dog loves to dash out the front door. On the other hand, group classes are perfect for practicing focus with other dogs around. Think of it like a practice run for being at a busy event in Clinton Square.
And of course, there are other ways to do it too. You've got private lessons, day training where the pro handles it while you're at work, and even those really intensive board and train programs. But for those intensive ones, the one thing you have to remember is that the follow-through you do at home, that's what makes it all stick.
Okay, now for the big one, Section 3. How do you actually pick a professional? Here's your toolkit for making a really solid choice.
Picking a trainer can feel like a huge deal, but honestly, you can break it down into 4 pretty manageable steps. First, figure out what you want to achieve. Then, look into their credentials. After that, ask some really good questions. And finally, set up a consultation to just see if you vibe with them.
You're probably going to see a bunch of letters after a trainer's name. Don't let the alphabet soup intimidate you. These are actually a really good sign. Credentials like CPDT-KA just mean they've passed a big test on training knowledge, or KPA-CTP tells you they're certified in positive reinforcement. It shows they're serious about their education and using humane methods. So once you're talking to a trainer, either on the phone or in person, what are the best things to ask to make sure they're the right person for the job? Here are a few really key questions. You'll definitely want to know what methods they use and what their credentials are. But also, ask them how they'll tailor the training specifically to your neighborhood in Syracuse. And, of course, you need to know how you'll track progress and what the all-in costs are going to be.
And that leads us perfectly into our final section, the nitty-gritty of Syracuse logistics and costs. Let's get into the practical details. This chart gives you a pretty good ballpark for what training costs around here. A set of group puppy classes might run you somewhere between $150 and $275, while a single private lesson is usually in that $95 to $170 range. Just be sure you always ask what a package includes. Oh, and a lot of trainers will offer a free first consultation, so definitely ask about that. Also, just a few local rules to keep in your back pocket. Remember, Syracuse has a leash law pretty much everywhere that isn't an official dog park. Pups 4 months and older also need a city license, and of course, New York State requires them to have a current rabies shot. Now for the fun part. Once you get started with training, you'll need good places to practice. For a safe, fenced-in area, Wegmans Good Dog Park is fantastic. And if you want to work on those on-leash skills with some real-world distractions, you can't beat Thorndon Park or the trails at Onondaga Lake Park. So can you picture it? Having those nice, pleasant walks through Thorndon Park? Or just a calm afternoon hanging out in Armory Square? It's totally possible.
Honestly, a well-trained dog just makes every part of life easier. It's not just about the walks. It's about having guests over without any chaos, or just enjoying a beautiful day out at a park with your family and friends. We really hope this helps you find that perfect partner for you and your dog. Good luck with everything.